Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Margene Anderson. You can call me Margene. You can call me Dr. Anderson. I don't mind either way. Now, typically, I would not be recording on my phone, but I am in between computers. I'm switching positions right now at my full-time job at the university. And so the loaner computer that I have right now is not cooperating. So I'm going to do this week's weekly review or our welcome message on my phone today. So please bear with me. So this week, what you're watching with now is what I would consider our weekly review. But of course, this week it is my welcome video for you. And in this review, I will be reviewing a bit of the course information and expanding a little bit more on some of the things you might have read in the syllabus. But typically, I will be doing our weekly review, and I'm going to be giving you a little insight onto what I've been seeing in the prior week before, and I will review the tasks for the week. So plan on watching those. This week's weekly review, I'm going to cover 4 pieces of information. First, I'm going to cover where you can find information about this course. And then second, I'm going to talk a bit about how this course is organized. And then third, we'll talk about how the online site is organized. And fourth, we'll review the assignments for this week. First, I wanted to talk a bit about how the course information. And you'll notice that I try to incorporate information in various places, something I like to call intentional redundancy or planned redundancy, which means the same kind of information can be found in various locations. So however you want to access it, if you see the right redundancy, it's there because I don't want you to miss it. You'll also notice I used Edgewood's template, and for some reason they have sections highlighted in blue this year. I don't know why they did this. I kept that highlight just in case I was supposed to. Some of that information it looks like might be pertinent to you, but I suspect it's more pertinent for the on-campus undergrads. Regardless, you can access that PDF on the left-hand side of the course in the course link called Syllabus in that navigation pane. I would say the most important part of the syllabus is my grading philosophy and the course schedule. If you have any questions at any time, you can feel free to post them in the Raise Your Hand forum in the discussion area. You can also access on the left-hand side of the navigation menu. Now it's called the Raise Your Hand. It's called the Raise Your Hand discussion because you can feel free to put down any discussion questions you feel might be pertinent for the whole course, or excuse me, the whole class, and allow other people to answer them, just in case I don't see it in a timely manner. I usually check things in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, excuse me. If it's an individual question, of course, and it's not pertinent to the whole class, you can feel free to email me or text me at any time. I typically check my email for Edgewood in the morning before work and in the afternoon when I get home from work and one more time in the evening. So I will try to stay on top of it as much as possible. But like I said, if it is something that you need to be taken care of right away, you can text me. That's not a problem. So let's talk a little bit about how the course is organized. You will note that the point of this course is to make substantive progress on your first chapter of your dissertation, which is the introduction chapter, and then the methods chapter of your dissertation. You'll notice that in this course there are formative assessments along the way. They are meant to help you make progress toward that goal. They're not meant as one-offs. And then, of course, the summative assessments in this course are the chapters that you'll turn in at the end of the class, which I will call well-formed rough drafts, and then your mock proposal defense. Some of you at this point might have a really solid perspectives and are ready to get to writing. Some of you still might be exploring your topic a little bit more, needing to do a little bit more reading. That's okay. Refining your methods and how you're going to approach this thing. And writing a dissertation, of course, is not a race. It is a journey, and it's a hard journey. But my goal is to meet you where you're at. So please communicate with me those needs. Well, this course is organized into modules spanning 2 weeks, which I will open. I will present to you in each 2 weeks. It's not really a module per se as thematically, but more so that I will open 2 weeks of the class at the same time so that you are not inundated with information or feel that you need to be getting ahead in the process. Dr. Banks and I, if you are taking 880, and I have tried to organize our course schedules to help pace you and so that you're not all inundated with work from both of our classes at the same time. Anyway, my plan is to open up the modules on the weekend prior to the start of the module. Some of you may want to use the weekends to get ahead, so I'll do my very best to open the modules on Friday evening. Technically, they don't start until 9 a.m. on Sundays. Assignments are usually due, and I'm doing due in the scare quotes, on Saturdays at 11:59, but in all honesty, I'll grade them when they come in. We are adults, we sometimes have pressing matters, and it's more important to me that you do the work and get the stuff done at the pace you need to stay on track. I will not take points off for late work. You will need to get your drafts to your writing partners on time, just so they have enough time to respond, but that's the only time where I will be a stickler on due dates. Along with the weekly review, you can expect every week to have some instructional materials included in the module. That will be more so at the beginning of the course when we're front-loading our information, and fewer while we get to the end of the course when you're really buckling down and writing, and I'm going to give you space and time to do that. Many of these are called mini lessons, which will give you insight into some concepts on dissertation writing, some demonstrations of techniques that you might want to use, and some theory behind how writing is constructed. And building on these will be some activities that, for the most part, especially in the beginning, will help you reflect and think, including a weekly reflection. Again, these are tools that will help you build your tools writer box, and over time you may choose to incorporate them more so or just test them out for this class and see if they work for you. I also want to note that this course is mostly asynchronous, although you are going to schedule 2 face-to-face virtual writing conferences with me, or if you're in the Madison area, I'm happy to meet you in person. And you'll be practicing your proposal in real time. And we will also have our 2 synchronous meetings over the course of the course. 2 synchronous meetings and our proposal in May, our dissertation mock proposal in May. And our 2 synchronous meetings are going to be a little bit of information, a little bit of getting caught up with each other, but mostly an opportunity for you to give feedback to your peers. So there'll be peer writing conferences. Those will be our opportunities to connect synchronously, but I'm always happy to put together a WebEx meeting. Finally, a little note on grading, which you'll see reiterated on the syllabus. My philosophy for grading in this course for graduate students getting their doctorate is that I do have to assign you points. That's how Blackboard works. But I don't want you to get caught up on the formative assessments. I'm not going to have a rubric for them. These are tools. They're learning things for you to lean in, and you can lean into them as much as you'd like. Or if you need to be pulled back because you're busy that week, you can give them a cursory shot. I do think they will be helpful for many of you. So give them a good try. But I get it if at some point you need to spend more time on your writing than on a formative assessment. They're meant for you to continue to improve your writing, but your job is to make substantive. It's morning. I haven't had coffee. Substantive progress. And that means producing quality writing that is commensurate with earning a doctorate degree. That's what I'm most concerned about. Our third thing we're going to talk about today is that I hope the course is set up in a really forward-facing and intuitive way. I do not want you spending a whole lot of time navigating or figuring out where things are or how to do certain tasks. So each week I will have the weekly review and then instructional materials and the activities, and I'm going to put them in an order that I think you should run through sequentially, just because it makes sense in my brain and I think it will build and scaffold your skill set. Anyway, our last topic for today is what's coming up this week. This week we have 6 learning outcomes. I want to get them right, so I'm going to refer to the syllabus here. You've seen them posted online in the welcome as well. But just to review, this week you are going to describe your research succinctly. Likely you did that in the email or your prospectus that you sent to me. You're going to be reflecting on the course philosophy, procedures, and processes, hopefully through reading the syllabus and asking any questions you might have. You're going to be reflecting on your identity as a writer and a researcher, and I want you to be thinking about your strengths in this area and your room for growth. And I shared a little story of where I was when I came into dissertation writing and the kinds of strengths I already had and how I had to develop a different kind of voice as a writer. So I hope you get a chance to reflect on that. You should be able to describe the resources that Edgewood has for your personal and academic well-being. I want you to, if you haven't done so, access the dissertation template and the quality review guide, which will be something I use as a tool in the end to help give you feedback on your final, close to final drafts. I want you to be considering the multiple purposes of a dissertation. It's not just something you have to get done to get a doctorate degree. I mean, it is. But there are reasons why this thing has been around for hundreds of years and is part of the doctoral journey. And then I am going to encourage you to create a personal dissertation plan. And that's it for this week. I hope you have a good start to the week. I know there are a lot of assignments, it feels like, this week. So take your time, get them done, do some reflecting, and we will chat with each other next week. Have a great start to the semester, everybody. Bye-bye.